Hey Commanders Nation! The grind never stops in DC, and neither do we here at Commanders HQ. The front office is cooking up more moves, and as we work every day to perfect this channel for y'all, we need one quick favor. Smash that like button! Every click helps more fans find us and stay locked in on all things burgundy and gold. Now, what if I told you that the Commanders are sniffing around not one, but two big names? One a defensive juggernaut with a $118 million price tag. The other, a fiery wide receiver with game-changing potential and baggage. Buckle up, because this could shake up everything we thought we knew about the Commanders' 2025 draft strategy and the future of this young, hungry squad. Let's kick things off with the bombshell. According to reports from Outkick, the Washington Commanders are exploring a trade for Dolphins cornerback Jalen Ramsey. Yeah, that Jalen Ramsey, the six-time Pro Bowler, three-time All-Pro, Super Bowl champ, and arguably one of the top DBs of the past decade. He's a household name, a tone setter, and a vocal leader. So what's the play here? Well, we all saw how Washington's secondary struggled late last season. Yes, the front office went and grabbed Marshawn Lattimore, a smart, strategic move. They also added Jonathan Jones, retained Mike Senristil, and even brought in Noah Igbinoghene. But Ramsey would add star power and experience that could instantly elevate the defensive backfield. That said, this move isn't without risks. First off, age. Ramsey will be 31 by the time the 2025 season rolls around, and he's coming off one of the worst statistical years of his career. Tackling, coverage, he looked like a shadow of the lockdown corner we've known since his Jaguars and Rams days. Second, the cost. Financially, the dude is expensive. We're talking a $25.2 million dead cap hit if traded before June 1st. That's a steep price, especially for a team trying to build for both now and the future. Third, draft capital. Washington only has 5 picks in this year's draft. Is mortgaging one or more of those picks for an aging corner the right move, especially with young talent like Cooper DeJean or Kamari Lassiter on the board? It's a polarizing idea. On one hand, Ramsey could be the veteran voice that helps gel the secondary. On the other, he may not align with the long-term vision Adam Peters and Dan Quinn are building. If the team wants to get younger, faster, and tougher, Ramsey's not exactly a perfect match. Now let's pivot to another explosive headline. Fox Sports insider Jordan Schultz says several teams, including the Commanders, have expressed interest in Steelers wide receiver George Pickens. Pickens is just 24 years old, and he's coming off a season where he racked up nearly 1,200 yards and 5 touchdowns. The kid is talented, no doubt about it. He's got that alpha wide receiver vibe, great hands, big playability, and he's still on his rookie deal. So why is he even available? Simple, volatility. Pickens has been, let's say, emotionally charged, on and off the field. He's been benched for outbursts, criticized for body language. And while Mike Tomlin has managed to keep him in line, for the most part, that doesn't mean he'll mesh well in every locker room. And that's where the concern comes in. Dan Quinn has made it clear. Culture matters. He's building something with intent, grit, accountability, brotherhood. That locker room already has strong voices like Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel, and Jaden Daniels. Is there room for another dominant personality like Pickens? Plus, let's not forget the financial side. The Steelers just traded for DK Metcalf and probably won't re-sign Pickens next offseason. So he's on an expiring deal, which means Washington could trade assets and then have to pay him in 2026. That's a huge gamble, especially with Terry McLaurin still awaiting his own extension. But here's the kicker. If the price is right, this could be a home run swing. Pickens would add a vertical threat unlike anything currently on the roster. Pairing him with Samuel, McLaurin, and Eckler, that's a nightmare for defenses. And it gives Jaden Daniels another weapon to unleash chaos. So why are these moves even on the table? Because Adam Peters is playing chess, not checkers. We've already seen his aggressive offseason strategy. He's brought in Debo. He landed Tunsil. He snagged Lattimore. These aren't patchwork moves. These are statements. The Commanders aren't rebuilding. They're reloading. And you can feel the shift, can't you? The NFC Championship run. Last year wasn't a fluke. Jayden Daniels is him. The front office believes this team is closer than people think, and they're not afraid to prove it. But here's the reality. Every move now comes with risk. Whether it's paying a star past his prime like Ramsey, or taking a locker room risk on a high-ceiling receiver like Pickens, the Commanders need to thread the needle, compete today, but don't blow up the future. And with only 5 picks in the draft, every decision matters. Are we swinging for a championship window now, or building something sustainable for years to come? The Washington Commanders have already made serious waves this offseason. Debo Samuel, Laramie Tunsil, Marshawn Lattimore, a franchise quarterback in Jayden Daniels, and it doesn't stop there. With the 2025 NFL Draft right around the corner, all eyes are on what Adam Peters might do next, and if you thought trades were off the table, especially with rivals like the Giants or Eagles, think again. Peters made it loud and clear in his latest press conference. If the deal makes sense, it doesn't matter who's on the other end of the phone. Now that's not something we're used to hearing from a GM in the NFC East, right? There's no reason to be scared, Peters said when asked about trading with division opponents. If the value is there, you make the deal. It's a mindset that's refreshingly bold. Most GMs are terrified of strengthening a rival, especially when you know that move could come back to bite you twice a year. But Peters isn't playing scared. He's playing smart, and more importantly, he's playing long-term. This isn't just about staying competitive in 2025. It's about building a machine that runs smoothly for the next 5 to 10 years. And accumulating assets through trades, even with rivals, could be a key part of that plan. Trading back from the 29th overall pick is on the table. Whether that's with the Eagles at number 32 or the Giants at number 34, Peters is open for business. And that tells us one thing loud and clear. He's playing chess while others are playing checkers. Let's talk possibilities. The Eagles are in need of interior defensive line help after losing key pieces in free agency. Imagine them calling Washington to move up a few spots and grab a guy they believe can anchor their D-line. That could net the Commanders an extra day 2 pick or even more depending on how desperate Philly is. But here's the spicy one. The New York Giants. They're sitting at 34 and might be eyeing a quarterback. Maybe Bo Nix, maybe Quinn Ewers, maybe another sleeper they want to jump up for. Would Peters trade down and hand them a shot at their future franchise QB? That's a gutsy move. But again, if the value's right, Peters might just pull the trigger. The benefit? Washington adds more picks to address areas like cornerback depth, offensive line depth, or even a developmental tight end to grow with Jayden Daniels. It's the classic Belichick move. Trade down, stockpile picks, build a deeper roster. And now it's Adam Peters running that playbook in DC. One thing that's become clear with Peters, Dan Quinn, and this new-look Commanders regime, they're not afraid of what's traditionally done. They're here to build a winning culture, and that means taking calculated risks. Would trading with Philly or New York be risky? Of course. But the biggest risk is staying stuck in fear-based decision-making. And let's be honest, these aren't the old Commanders. We're not in the cellar of the NFC East anymore. With a dynamic QB, a stacked WR room, and veterans like Tunsil and Lattimore setting the tone, this is a team that's ready to compete now and build for the future at the same time. So, if helping a rival slightly improves their roster, but gives you a chance to take 2 more swings in the draft, you take that shot. That's how dynasties are built. That's how culture changes. All right, Commanders family. Let's talk about it. Would you trade for Jalen Ramsey despite the contract and age concerns? Would you roll the dice on George Pickens if it meant giving Daniels a full arsenal of receivers, but maybe shaking up locker room harmony? Or do you think Peters should stay the course, trust the draft board, and keep building slow and steady? hit the comments below. I want to hear your take. And while you're down there, don't forget to drop a like if you're loving the direction this team is heading. Subscribe if you haven't already, because this ride is just getting started. And we'll be with you every step of the way. This is Commanders HQ, where the burgundy and gold never sleeps. I'm out.